asked, who should we rely on for the moon sighting? Some say Saudi Arabia, and some say you have to rely on a local sighting, and some even rely on mere calculation for some astronomers. Which one is correct? The origin in sighting the moon is the citation by the eye, naked eye if it is possible, or by whatever instrument that is available and will enable us to sight the birth of the moon. Sighting the moon is an act of worship. Sighting the moon is an act of worship, and there is an invocation to be recited upon sighting the moon. So we will exclude from the proposal that you presented relying on mere calculation, because the Prophet ﷺ said, صُومُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ وَأَفْطِرُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ. You should begin fasting upon sighting the moon of Ramadan, and you should break your fast and celebrate Eid upon sighting the moon of the month of Shawwal. So what determines the beginning of the month is the moon citation. Great. Now, some countries say Ramadan is tomorrow, some countries say Ramadan is day after, some countries say in 3 and 4 days. Some neighboring countries have difference in days. So lately, we have witnessed in some Muslim countries the difference 3 and 4 days, the beginning of Ramadan. Some countries will begin fasting Friday, let's say, and some Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and so on. And this is literally a crisis. Why? Because when you look at it logically, it's only one moon. So if it is born, if it is there, if it has been sighted anywhere, then this is it. How was it so easy in the past when they did not have this astronomy and instruments in order to see in the space? And now, with this advanced technology, that we fail to see it and determine. Anyway, so the calculation may be used as assisting mean to know approximately when would it be, but not in order to determine when Ramadan 20 years from now will begin, on what date and day. Because as we were living in the States, it came false several times, and sometimes they announced to the Muslim inmates. These inmates accepted Islam in prison, not that they were Muslims and they were convicted. No. When we gave da'wah in the prison, and mashallah, thousands of them accepted Islam. But since they are incarcerated, it's not easy to make decision on their own. So they tell them beforehand, okay, Ramadan is going to be on Tuesday. Then once we were able to sight the moon on Monday, Sunday evening, that means that the Muslim brothers in these units will skip fasting for 1 day, will not fast on a whole day. Why? Because they have not been informed. They relied only on the calculations. Who will bear that responsibility? Who is responsible? Can anyone be responsible for 1 day of Ramadan that a Muslim would not fast because of misinformations or because of calculations? Because the message is very clear. We're not saying that we're against science or astronomy or knowledge or calculation. No. We will utilize all of that as assisting means to know approximately when will it be. But the mufti, the imams, the religious leaders and officials have to go out, utilize these instruments. Approximately during the calculation time, it says that day, they go out and they start looking for the moon and sight it. If they see it, fine. If they don't, now we will look into 2 different schools of thoughts. One which believes in ittihad al-matali', the unity of the moon citation. They say, look, if the moon was seen anywhere, this is it, because there is only one moon. So every person in every country who have heard that the moon was sighted by one Muslim who is just and honest, then he is required to fast and begin fasting, because it's already there. It has been confirmed. While for the beginning of the month of Shawwal, it requires 2 male witnesses. So in this case, this is one view, and it is valid. The other view say, look, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they did not have means of communication. Let's say that they were able to see the moon in Mecca. Between Mecca and Medina, several days traveling. And in Medina, it was cloudy. How would the people in Medina know? So let's say that the people in Medina fasted a day later. They are not bearing any responsibility. They are not sinners. And that's why they adopt the view of اختلاف المطالع. Every country, especially if they have their own province and they're distant from other countries, should rely on their own moon citation. If it is up to me, I would say all the Muslim countries, whenever any Muslim country in the world cites the moon, and it is seen, and it is confirmed and approved in this country that they have cited the moon, we should generalize and tell the entire world that the moon has been sighted in this country and it has been witnessed, and we should begin fasting. But if this is not the case, then every community should try their best to try to sight the moon, or if they would follow whoever announces the moon was sighted there first. But to say we only follow a particular country, this is not a view or an opinion. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Unless if it is the closest country to you, of course.